So good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Gen AI webinar sessions. Today, we're going to discuss a very interesting topic about prompt layer. So how to master the prompt layer, your secret weapon for prompt management. Let's welcome the sessions today. I'm going to talk about, over the next 15-20 minutes, we're going to unravel something that every AI developer, an LLM enthusiast, or a Gen AI engineer will benefit from. How to track, debug, and optimize prompts effectively using a prompt layer. So let's begin. Why do we need to do prompt management in the first place? So, have you ever changed a prompt in your code and suddenly your model started acting weird and you have no idea why? Or you launched a prompt to production and someone on the team tweaked it and now the output quality dropped, but there's no record of what has actually changed. That's why the prompt layer comes into picture. Prompt layer is like a Git for your prompts. It will help you track every prompt and its output, analyze the performance, debug your issues, and organize your prompt experiments. And guess what? It will integrate seamlessly with OpenAI and other popular APIs. So what exactly is this prompt layer that I'm talking about, right? So let's try and understand prompt layer itself. Prompt layer is an open source observability layer for LLM apps. So you can use this in complement with your large language models. It acts as a middleware between your application and your large language model LLM APIs. It is acting like a bridge between the two. Whenever your app sends a prompt to an LLM, for example, like a GPT-4, this prompt layer will log that interaction along with metadata, tags, and more. So it helps you answer questions like what prompts did we send? How did the model respond to each of our prompts? How much did it cost? Was the response even fast? Right? Which version of the prompt worked better? You basically will get a complete prompt history and you can start tracking the different kinds of prompts that are giving to the LLMs. Then let's say you're opening an OpenAI's Python SDK. All you do is install the SDK, pip install the prompt layer, and then you configure the prompt layer, right? And it's a plug and play replacement that you can do. There are a lot of features that make it powerful. Let's walk through what prompt layer actually tracks and how it will benefit you. So the first one is prompt logging. Every prompt plus response is saved. And then metadata feature where you can attach the context like user ID, session ID, or even your name of the experiment. Then you can add tags to this, like group the prompts under experiments like V1 onboarding or prod underscore fallback. And you can do a lot of prompt searching. You can use queries to find past prompts based on the tags or metadata. And also cost plus token tracking. You can know how many tokens you use and how much exactly it is costing you. And obviously, you can do a lot of latency monitoring also. You will know exactly which prompts are slow. So why is this that prompt history actually matters? Why should I keep track of what are the prompts that I've used and what exactly was the accuracy or the behavior of the model, which each of those prompts? Why should I track it in the first place, right? So imagine you're running 5 experiments with different prompt phrasings. Without the prompt layer, keeping track of which prompt performed best is messy, right? It's unorganized. You're not quite sure which prompts are working better, which techniques are working better. Becomes a lot of chaos. So with this prompt layer, you can tag each version, collect the metadata. You can analyze which version had fewer hallucinations or which version has better user retention. You can compare these things with different prompts. And then you can roll back if a prompt starts performing worse. Okay, you can take it back. You can maybe try out different types of prompting techniques, zero shot, few shot, chain of thought, tree of thought, and then make a conclusion based on comparison, which which prompting technique is actually working better, right? So prompt layer will help you organize these prompts, track the history of these prompts and act accordingly. It's like a version control plus analytics plus audit logs, all rolled into one. You can also do debugging with prompt layer. Let's say your customer sends you a message saying your chatbot said something offensive. Without prompt layer, you're scrambling to reproduce it. You try to guess what is it that the user would have asked. But if you have a prompt layer, you can search their user ID in the dashboard and you can instantly see what were their prompts, the response of the model, and exact timestamps of those prompts. Right? So it brings peace of mind to developers and also will help you build trust with the users who are using your LLMs. You can, so basically another point of view is collaboration with prompt libraries. Prompt layer is also fantastic for team collaboration. You can comment on prompt designs, you can organize the reusable prompts into libraries, you can share them across teams, cross-functional teams like design systems for prompts. And you can imagine you have a prompt that explains medical terms in layman's language. You could tag it, review it with the team, and reuse it across different apps. This is a scalable prompt engineering technique. You can also do A/B testing with prompt layer. This is the real secret weapon, right? Send half your traffic through prompt A, the other half through prompt B. Okay, and you can use tags like A test and B test. After a week, you can analyze which prompt had a better response quality, which one costs less, which one had a shorter latency. So prompt layer will help you make data-driven decisions and not actually guesswork. And what would be some real-world use cases, if I may tell you? Let's talk about a few practical examples where I can use this prompt layer, right? So a chatbot startup tracked over 10,000 prompt responses to refine tone and style. You can use it as an e-commerce AI assistant. An e-commerce AI assistant used prompt layer in order to do A/B testing, copywriting styles for product recommendations. An LLM-based tutoring app which tracks errors, hallucinations, and latency in order to improve the user experience. It's a low effort, high impact addition to your stack. So if you're working with LLMs and prompts, let's be honest, who isn't today, right? So prompt layer is an essential observability tool. You will gain the version control. You can do a lot more analytics. You can do debugging. You can monitor your costs, and you can do collaboration. Let's talk about this framework that I have with me right now. Let's break down and elaborate on this particular diagram. This architecture diagram will represent the data and prompt flow between an agent, your application, a foundation model like GPT-4 or Claude, and how prompt layer will enable structured prompt development and management. Let's go step by step. So first is your agent, your application logic. This is the component that receives a user input or query. Think of it as your chatbot, web interface, or any service that's built on top of an LLM. The agent sends a query that could contain the user message, session context, or some business logic. Then comes your data store, context, or memory. Often your application will augment the user query with data. For example, what was the user's last purchase, or what was the previous question? This database or context manager will enrich the query before it is transformed into a prompt. Then comes your prompt generation. The query, with or without additional context, is converted into a structured, well-structured prompt. This prompt is what gets sent to the foundation model for processing. Now here's where prompt layer will come into picture. Prompt layer, SME-led iteration and management. This is the powerful middle layer. SME is nothing but subject matter experts and prompt engineers who use prompt layer to iteratively develop and evaluate the prompts, to test different phrasings, formats, and structures, for managing versions of prompts just like developers use Git. Prompt layer acts like a central brain for prompt engineering, ensuring everything is versioned, tagged, and reviewable. Then comes your foundation model, any LLM like GPT-4, Claude, etc. The final processed prompt is sent to the LLM. The model will generate a response based on the prompt. Then feedback loop can also be implied. The model will respond. The model response goes back to the agent Often the developers log these results back into the prompt layer or a separate analytics system for evaluation. So what is the key value add of prompt layer in this flow? It will act as a control tower for prompt experimentation. You can monitor latency, cost, performance, and even conduct A/B testing of different prompts. Then subject matter experts and developers collaborate here rather than hard coding prompts directly into the app. Right? Let's head over to the code part and look at the code. So we're installing a prompt layer package, pip install prompt layer, right? And we can import these necessary libraries of prompt layer and OpenAPI because we're going to connect with OpenAPI. And we need API keys for both here, prompt layer and OpenAPI as well. And then we are creating, we'll create and track a prompt using the prompt layer, right? So we're starting with GPT-4. They've taken, for example, they have just taken a GPT-4 model here. And they're giving some messages. You are a helpful assistant, and some prompts given here explain quantum physics in a simple manner or simply, right? And then you will give some tags, you will give some metadata over here based on the user ID. Here it will print the assistant's reply from the model. It will take the assistant's response and give us the response. Then define additional metadata separately if you want to, right? This is just an example that they're using where you're putting in extra metadata. And you can add in additional tags also, right? Separately saying user onboarding or talk about version 2, etc. Retrieve the previously tracked prompts based on tags and metadata. So based on the tags, it will search for prompts tagged with webinar demo, and it will filter by the same user ID, whoever user was using these prompts, and it will limit up to 5 prompts. And this will loop in and go back to your prompt layer. So every time there is a user ID sending a prompt, you will be notified what were the prompts. It will store this history. It will be tracking those histories. For each and every prompt, it will also track what was the response of the LLM so that you can monitor all these things, right? This is briefly about what prompt layer was. So thank you for joining us today, guys. Maybe in the next session, we'll talk about a lot more interesting things in terms of Gen AI, agentic AI. So keep tuned in with our sessions. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you.